Alright, so in the past 2 weeks I've been waking up at 4:30 a.m. and been feeling a bit sluggish because my body's not just quite used to it yet. The reason I do it is because I decided to set a challenge for myself. To wake up early, manage to get some work in before school, and also go to the gym and stay healthy doing all of that. Now I did a similar thing back in October, but then it just felt horrible and I ended up stressing my face off, and I stopped it because it was just making things worse instead of helping me to be more productive. Then I didn't realize that essentially destroying myself with the lack of sleep and consistent stress wasn't the best idea. Now the reason why I'm telling you all of this and the reason why I started with this story is because most people never really do anything like that in their lives. They might do it out of necessity, like when they have to go to work, but never really out of curiosity. They don't think that it's fun because it's hard. They don't want to wake up early because it sucks. They don't want to fix their crappy diet. They don't want to build anything meaningful like a body, for example. You see, the sad reality is that the majority of people that you know will most likely never end up where they want to end up because of what they do on a day-to-day basis and because of how they treat their lives, and especially health. And obviously, if we don't want to end up where they will end up, we have to do something different, and a lot of the times, most of the things different. A couple of days ago, I came up with this concept which I called the rule of 180. The way it works is that whenever you catch yourself doing the things that you know are taking you the opposite way from the goals that you want to achieve, you just turn around. The point is to start doing the exact opposite. If you're scrolling TikTok, shut it off and start writing. If you're eating crappy food while binge watching Netflix, drop it all and go to the gym. Learn to be sharp. Take fast action. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you a 30-day challenge that you can go through and learn how to turn your life around and not be like most people. So make sure to watch this video until the end, and I should also say that if you go through that challenge from the start to the end, your life will never be the same. Exactly 2 weeks ago, I noticed that I wasn't making as much progress as I wanted to because I was waking up at 7 to 7:30 a.m., which meant no work in the morning because I had to go to school right away. And I decided to make this kind of a turnaround, so start going to bed earlier and wake up at 4:30 a.m. The goal was to have a block of 3-hour deep working session before school because trying to get something done after school, after the gym, after all of those meals that I had in the day with a massive brain fog wasn't really working for me that well. And so I decided to kind of flip the switch and start doing the hardest tasks in the morning instead of trying to do them late at night because most of the time I wouldn't produce as good of a work in the evening. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the rule of 180 when it comes to health. If you picture a life of an average person, you'd probably see them sleeping in, scrolling on their phone all the time, eating and drinking crap most days of the week, and most importantly, fearing the discomfort. And as you already understand, we want the exact opposite of that. We want to be able to feel good, have lots of energy, look good, and also know that we're working on something meaningful. Once again, 180 degrees from the direction that most people choose. But how do we actually do it? And most importantly, how do we sustain it? There are three main things to remember when it comes to it. First is starting with action. Not with planning, not with trying to heal our inner wounds or anything like that, but with action. Second is making sure to start moving away from the thing we don't want, not necessarily to the thing that we want. And lastly, doing it for long enough to A, see enough progress, and B, fall in love with the process. So let's break those down. The simplest first step would be something in style of Jordan Peterson, where he says that you should start by cleaning your room first, but the approach we can take is that we can learn to have more energy to do all those things in the first place. Because the countless YouTube videos that you watched have already told you to start. They told you to do something hard. But most people, and I was there too, simply lack the energy to do all of that. It's like you know what to do and perhaps even how to do it to some extent because you have not experimented enough yet. But anyway, you simply don't have the energy to start because all those habits that you've been having in your life over the past couple of months or maybe even years have completely drained the energy from you. Crappy diet, the random sleeping schedule, the content consumption habits, and overall the absence of things that make you feel uncomfortable. Because comfort is the problem. So let's start by learning to get uncomfortable. Remember what we just talked about? Just turn around. If you're sleeping in, wake up early. If you're eating crap, cut it off completely. If you fear being uncomfortable, take cold showers. The point is be extreme. Force yourself. Go to the deep end of something. That's the whole point of it. Try not eating any sugar for 10 days. Try forcing your mind to meditate for 10 minutes every day. Observe it and see how it resists and show it that you're the one in control. You have to prove it to yourself first. And most importantly, learn to stop fearing it. Because once you begin to see small bits of progress and improvements, it actually becomes fun. Like playing a video game where you have to level up a character, but in the real life, the character is you. So yeah, before we move on onto the 30-day challenge, as I promised at the beginning of the video, I should say that if you want to learn more about health and actually optimize it and make it work, you can check out the Performance Archive. Link is in the description. It's gonna go live on April 5th. You can pre-order it now at a discounted price. And yeah, if that's something you're looking for, then you can definitely check that out. All right, so now that we've discussed the rule of 180 and now that we understand the importance of doing all of that, Here's a 30-day challenge that you can go through. It's going to be broken down by weeks so that you can orient it yourself and not get too overwhelmed right away, especially if you're a beginner. And as I mentioned before, if you manage to go through it fully and complete all of the steps, or at least try to complete all of the steps, your life will most likely never be the same. And yeah, I should also say that you can download this 30-day challenge completely for free. Links in the description if that's more comfortable for you, so that you don't have to memorize everything that I'm about to talk about. So yeah, starting with week 1, the main point here is learning to take sharp action. The point is to start breaking the chains and start acting differently. Begin with waking up before 6 a.m. and going for a walk and getting some sunlight in. Like, start to do it literally tomorrow. Don't plan it or put it into your calendar, but do it tomorrow. Set an alarm before 6 a.m. and put your phone in the other room so that when you wake up in the morning when the alarm goes off, you don't get to turn it off or snooze it right next to your bed. It's going to drastically decrease the chance of you falling back asleep. So the second point is cleaning your room. And yeah, keep in mind that this is not like exactly what you should be doing day by day. This is just the tasks that you should orient yourself and try to complete within that first week. The point of cleaning your room is to get rid of all the useless stuff. That's basically it. Try to change your setup, try to move some furniture around, try to make your room look differently from what it is right now. On day 2 or 3, try fasting for 2 or 3 hours after you wake up. Don't get any breakfast, drink a coffee or whatever you need and go to work or studies or do whatever you need. I'm not just talking about carbs here, but just have no meals whatsoever for 2 to 3 hours. Try to apply 180 rule whenever you can. Wherever you don't like or don't want to be in your life, force it to start changing. Avoid negative people, stop consuming news all the time, you get the point. And here's your main challenge for the first week. Take cold shower 3 times. And yeah, make sure to start with cold water because it's crucial. You can finish with warm later if you'd like, but make sure to start with cold water. The point is to shock your body. Now moving on onto the week 2, the main point here is learning to take control. Try not touching your phone for 1 full day and see how you feel. Spoiler, it's gonna feel disgusting because any addiction is difficult to break. Make a handwritten promise to yourself that you're not gonna watch porn or binge watch Netflix for at least a week. Clean up your diet, cut off processed sugar, and yeah, that's kind of another huge addiction to be broken. Prove to yourself that you're able to control what you're doing with your life, because that's exactly what the majority of people struggle with. They're just getting hooked on everything that's around them, just like a fish. Now the main goal of week 3 is health optimization. Start by adjusting your sleep. Create a habit tracker. You can Google what the habit tracker is, or here's the approximation of how it looks like, and make sleep one of the habits that you're gonna put in there. I suggest going to bed before 10 p.m. and waking up before 6 a.m. Start choosing what you eat. Don't just go for the tastiest option. As we discussed for the week 2, start choosing the least processed options. Get off the dopamine hook. For example, instead of buying a random croissant with chocolate for lunch, grab a pack of unsalted nuts or some fruits if you want something sweet. Now lastly, the main goal for week 4 is building the trigger. Start by picking a daily habit and start building the addiction around it. It can be cold shower, it can be sunlight viewing, it can be meditation or anything of that sort. This is important for accountability. For example, every single morning I take cold showers. I've been taking them for more than a year straight. The reason why it's cool and interesting is because when you have a habit like that, you start to become accustomed to and in a way addicted to something which comes after it. That's basically how you teach dogs, right? You teach it to sit and you give it something tasty. That's how it learns to sit, because when it sits, it gets something tasty afterwards. With this, if you haven't done the meditation or whatever habit you chose, you're not going to be really able to start working. Now you might ask, like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I even do that? And no, the assumption that this is something stupid is wrong, because this is exactly what you want to have in your life. This is exactly what you want to strive to develop. And every other task that you have to do after it will start to line up and your productivity will skyrocket essentially. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video until the end. Once again, you can download this 30-day challenge completely for free. It's more in depth in that document even. Also, don't forget to check out the performance archive and find all the relevant links in the description. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and take care. Bye.